Hi guys, Karen here. I am back. I missed everybody and I have to play catch up now on all of your new stuff that you've been creating. I'm excited to see what everybody's been doing and stuff. So, I've been busy too, doing different things, and don't mind my messy desk. You know how I work. I think we all work like this. But I wanted some bigger. You know how I do my own centers with, the buckles and then just glue the pearls in. And I wanted to make some bigger centers to go in my flowers. And I really like these, but they're expensive to buy. This kind. So I thought I would try and make my own, which I did with these. And just acrylic gem. Just an acrylic gem. These are 16 millimeter flatbacks. These are 12. And Diamante chain. And you can get this on eBay in gold or silver. The first one I bought is gold. I want to hopefully next month or so get some more in silver, so I have an option. And I just thought I'd show how I did it. When I first started doing them, I did them with cardstock and just used Eileen's tacky glue and put it on the back of my gemstone and slapped it on a piece of cardstock. I have 1-inch circle I punched out, and then went around the gemstone with the tacky glue, a thin bead, and adhered the Diamante chain to it, around it. The only thing with it, and it works good, but the only thing with it is that you then have to cut underneath that chain so your cardstock obviously is not sticking out and showing. And you can break it loose if you're not careful with what you're doing. You cutting underneath it. I use my Tim Holtz scissors and it works fine. But if you cut in a little too deep, you will you'll break loose your chain from its the glue, and so then you have to start over again. And I didn't like that idea. It's I'm wasting cardstock and cutting it, and even if you got a 1/2-inch circle. Because I did try and cut the cardstock down smaller, but then your chain is sitting crooked when you're trying to glue it on, and that doesn't work either, because then it just wants to flip-flop around. So then I thought, well, let's see if I can do it with E6000 straight onto my craft mat with no cardstock. And let me see, I have to find one, because I started out, right here's one, with just the E6000. And, oh, I'm not even holding where you guys can see. Huh? It worked fine. It worked beautiful. As a matter of fact, if you get a regular, this one's a button. I don't know if it'll look the same. But see, it looks the same. I thought these was all one piece, and now I'm starting to wonder if it's, the flat back and then the chain is pressed on or glued on somehow in there. Because mine looks the same way after you do it yourself. So, but they're expensive to buy, and I just can't afford that, so I'll make my own. And this is how I'm going to do it. Now, on my table, I have a cutting mat, a quilting for my quilts to measure my material and stuff, and it's 36 by 36, and I measure out on that. I just did this for this video. This is actually one that I keep by my chair in the living room from when I'm working on fabric flowers, where I could just measure it out real fast. This one's 10 or 11 inches. Now, what I know about the Diamante chain, I don't want to get ahead. I gotta watch that one, because that one's I just did. The chain that I have is 2 millimeter. I get it on YouTube. I think I might have paid $7 for 10 yards, but I've had this now for a little bit over a year, so I'm not sure what the prices are on it now. And it's 2 millimeters. The flatbacks I also get off of eBay, and I think 200 for like $4.95 free shipping, because of course it comes out of China. And what I do know with the 16 millimeters is that it takes 20 of each piece. It takes 20 of these to go around a 16 millimeter acrylic flatback. Okay, so when you measure that out, because trying to count out 20 of these dainty tiny little things, I'll go blind. So I just put it down on my quilting mat and figured out how much that was, and it's actually 20 of these comes out to be 2 inches and 2 3/8 inches. And that is the line that is between your 1/4 and 1/2 inch mark on your cutting mat. So I just drew a line on my cutting mat, and you can't see it. Can you now? I have a little ink mark right there, and I just measure out. Most of the time it's real accurate. Sometimes it might be 1 over. And when I get it wrapped around, I just snip it off with my Tim Holtz scissors. Tim Holtz cuts right through this just fine. It hasn't damaged my scissors at all. And I just save that little piece, because I'll find a project somewhere just to glue a little bling on here or there. So, yeah, if you can measure it out and just keep a log of what size you're using. The 12s, it looks okay on. These are 10 millimeter, and these are faceted gemstones, because I like them the round flatness. I don't like the ones that sort of peak up. So these, they said it was faceted on eBay, is what they're calling them. This is, let me see, that's a 10 inch. This is a 12, and these are 16. This chain is actually, to me, now your opinion could be different, but this chain is, it's too big for that size stone. It's just too big. And this is 2 mil, so maybe a 1 mil, 1.5 might do, I'm not sure. But 2 mil is too big for a 10 millimeter. So I'm going to move this, because this green pad is making it dark. And there, just want my flat back on the floor. And so I already have a piece cut here. I have my E6000, and you know, I'm real sophisticated. A toothpick, because you use what works. And this one I did a little bit ago. I don't know if it's dry enough. Coming off my cutting mat, I should have done it closer to the edge. There you go. And it'll peel off, and then just get the extra strings. Can't see real well in here. I usually do this in my kitchen. It's a lot better lighting. So, and then, I mean, this one's bigger chain, of course, but I still think it looks good, and it still has quite a bit of sparkle, you know. Nobody would be able to tell you put it on your flower centers and stuff. No one would know that you did it yourself, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay. Make sure it's clean as clean can be, because you're going to get some E6000 on it. If you craft like me, and I'm a sloppy crafter, that's just all there's to it. And okay, I just dabbed some on my mat. And this stuff, the only thing I don't like about this stuff is it keeps wanting to come out. Come on. Sometimes if you can squeeze it a certain way, oh my god, I'm going to put the lid back on, it's not stopping. If you can squeeze it a certain way, it'll suck it back in. There, it just went back in. Hear my cat meowing? It's wanting milk. And all I do, I don't adhere it down to my mat or anything, and I already have a couple pieces cut out, is take my Q-tip, or my Q-tip, my whatever that thing is that you pick your teeth with, toothpick, and I just start using it and going around the sides. So everything is in bloom here. It's beautiful. I have a dogwood in the yard that I didn't realize. I have 5 azaleas, 2 real pretty pink ones, and 3 white ones. I want to make sure. Make sure you got it flat. Hold your center. You don't want to pull real hard, because if you pull hard, you're going to start pulling it up on your gemstone. Okay? And you don't want it to come up on the gemstone. You want it to sit flat beside it. It gets, I swear, it gets strings just like hot glue. Figure that one out. Okay. I hope I'm in frame, guys. And then just pull it in. But don't pull it real taut, because you want your stones to stay sitting upright, because if you don't, it will show, and you will definitely be able to tell. I need to get me another craft mat where I can just flip it around like I do. I have like that smaller cutting mat I have there. That is one reason that I got one that size, because when I'm cutting material, when I only need something so big, I can flip the mat around on top of the other mat. It'll slide very easy. Oh, that side's getting awful, ain't it? You'll have to wipe the glue off your stick, or it'll get too thick on there. Oops, don't tip up on me. There you go. See, and if you, this chain stretches just a little bit, so you can do a loose gather or a taut gather. Now, the more you separate the chain, you're going to have room for that, because you're going to pull it, lift it up. But you want just a little extra. That's why that 20-inch, I could probably get away with 19, but then I have to pull it tight. And then you just, they'll match in. They match in perfect together. And then put your finger on top and just separate it just a little bit if needed. I just put my finger in that E6000. I can feel it. And then just start pressing it down. Pressing it in towards the gem without lifting it up onto the gem, just to make sure that it's surrounding the circle nice and flat and not coming up on the gemstone itself. You'll be able to tell if it does. Okay? What I would do, I let it sit, and I let it it takes a few minutes for this to start grabbing onto it, but then it'll get like stringy. I let mine sit until it dries, and then I take just one of these on the edge of my finger and go around the top, because that E6000 will come off with a baby wipe. Just be real, you know, gentle getting it off, keep going over it, and then dry it with cotton. No, George, you can't come in right now, hon. I don't like to mess with my chain too much, and Pamper baby wipes suck when it comes to this, because the cloth or something, if it catches on that, it just snags it, and you see hairs everywhere from the thing. What you call it, don't do that. But and just let it sit till it's dry, you know, and just do them on your craft mat. I'm going to wipe up this A6000. Just do them on your craft mat and assembly line. And they come out, they just come out beautiful. Let me see. Huh, now I can't, I moved them around, now I can't find the ones that, okay, see here? This one I did on cardstock, and while I was trying to cut underneath, because you can do it on cardstock, you can do it on cardstock. If you think that would be easier than this, you can do it on cardstock, that's fine. But you have to be real careful cutting underneath, because you've got to, I go in a slant and I cut around it. And I try and stay close to my edge, but you've got to cut the cardstock back far enough that people aren't going to see it on whatever project you put it on. But if you get in too close, like see, I cut too far back on this one, and it broke the chain loose. So, and I'll just take that off. I mean, it's not wasted. I'll just take it off and I'll redo it with the E6000. And it'll be fine then. But that's all there's to it. They're really easy. And I'll put up some links to the Diamante chain that you can go through and look on eBay, and for the gemstones, you can the acrylic gemstones, for you to find that on eBay or AliExpress, wherever you shop at. AliExpress, I've not actually bought anything from there yet. If anybody has a supplier they trust, I would appreciate the link. But the thing is that even looking on AliExpress, I actually found the Diamante chain and the Flatbacks cheaper on eBay than I did on there. So, you know, you just got to look and check it out. And, oh, a couple of tips. This is just, you know, a couple tips. E6000, I found, like at Walmart and stuff, if you go into the automotive section of Walmart, I think it was automotive. There's a couple aisles down from the paint, I think. Wherever they got their glues and stuff in for the guys. This is cheaper. If you go in the craft section, this is $5 something. Hobby Lobby and stuff, it's running over $5. It's around $5 or over $5. I can't really remember. If you go into like the men's section over at least at Walmart, it's $3 something. And it's the same thing. It's same amount and everything. The container is just shaped a little different. It is a squeeze bottle, but the container is shaped a little bit different, and you know, you save $2. And anybody interested in getting a cutting mat, you know, and that's what these are called, cutting mats, for quilters know them, you know. Now, like at Hobby Lobby, you go in the quilting section to buy one of these this size, it's going to run you $10. You go over to the art department in Hobby Lobby on the opposite side of the store and look for these cutting mats, and they do have them. And I actually bought this in the art section supply at Hobby Lobby on the opposite side of the store, like where the paints and stuff are, and it's $5. It's the price is in half, which I think is ridiculous because it's the exact same mat. These are self-healing. You cut on this, it somehow it heals itself back up, and you know, over time it is going to start to show its wear, and you'll have to get a new one. But I mean, they last for. I've cut a lot on my big one, a lot with my X-Acto knife, my rotary cutters, everything, and it's still in pretty good shape. So that's another tip. Look for these cutting mats. Now I don't know if they'd have the 36 by 36. I didn't see it that big in the art department, but I know they did have bigger ones than this. I just didn't need it because I already have a 12. What is it? I think a 12 by 12. So I just wanted this smaller size that I can lay on my mat and flip it as I was cutting stuff, and I didn't have to worry about whatever I was cutting. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it, guys. It's been a little bit since I've done a tutorial, so a little bit nervous, if you can tell. Forgive me. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. Hi to my new friend Kim. That's how I do it, Kim. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will see you guys all later. Bye.